Chapter 1. At Rock Bottom, the beginning of the journey. There are stories that seem to have been written by pain. This is the story of a girl who, like so many others, got lost along the way. But what seemed like the end was, in fact, the beginning of something extraordinary. Her name is Lara, still so young, but she already carried in her eyes the weight of a tired soul. Childhood? It was marked by screams, absence, and loneliness. Home, which should have been a shelter, was a battlefield. And when love fails at home, the world outside becomes a dangerous invitation. At the age of 13, Lara discovered her first refuge: drugs. They offered relief, a temporary oblivion. But every relief that comes from darkness comes at a price. The dependence grew. The sweet girl was transforming: lies, thefts, sleepless nights. And her health, little by little, was disappearing. She had hit rock bottom. Her body ached. Her soul was in pieces, and her heart no longer knew what hope was. It was in that cold bed that a new story began. When everything seemed lost, God lit the first light. Donna Celia was a volunteer at the hospital. She didn't know Lara, but she felt something different, and every afternoon she would go by, hold her hand, and pray. Lara begins to wake up slowly, weak. Her eyes open with difficulty, and the first thing she sees is Donna Celia, smiling. Donna Celia, in a soft voice. "You still have a purpose, daughter. God has not given up on you." The soundtrack rises, bringing a hopeful lightness. Scenes of Lara recovering, relearning how to walk, eat, look at herself in the mirror. Slowly, the lost girl began to reappear. Each step was a victory. Each day without a relapse, a miracle. But the road would be long, and the wounds deep. This was just the first chapter of Lara's story, from rock bottom to the light of hope. Because when everything seems dark, God is still the light. Chapter 2. First Steps of Faith, a New Beginning. After the storm comes the silence. For Lara, the silence was not empty. It was filled with possibility. Each morning was no longer a punishment. It was a promise. Her body was weak, but her will, newly born. Doctors had little hope. They spoke in careful tones. "She'll need constant care. She might never fully recover." But Lara had found something they couldn't measure: faith. Donna Celia, "You are not just recovering, Lara. You're rising." And God never lets his daughters rise alone. For the first time in years, Lara began to dream again. But dreaming meant facing the pain. The withdrawals still came. The nightmares didn't leave overnight. But now, she was no longer alone. Recovery isn't linear. Some days Lara felt like giving up. But then she remembered the hand that reached out to her in her darkest moment. And she remembered the promise whispered in prayer: "You have a purpose." Donna Celia, hugging Lara, "Welcome home." That day, something changed. Not just around her, but within her. Lara wasn't just surviving anymore. She was beginning to live. Lara, "God, I don't know where this road leads. But if you're with me, I will walk it." Faith doesn't erase the past, but it transforms it. And from broken pieces, God was building something new. This was just the beginning of a new chapter. The past was her testimony. But the future, that belonged to God. Chapter 3. Trials of the Heart. Faith may bring light, but it does not erase the shadows. Lara's body was healing, but her soul still bore scars. Temptations do not disappear. They only take new forms. Lara had to choose every day between the past and the promise of a new life. Lara's hand shaking, she deletes the messages, tears in her eyes. God, give me strength to keep walking, even when I feel weak. Sarah and Lara praying together, sharing laughs, Sarah teaching. Lara knew worship songs. God's blessings often come through people, and through Sarah, Lara learned that faith grows stronger when shared. Chapter 5. The Past Returns. Marcos. Lara? I never thought you would make it. Lara. Neither did I. But God thought otherwise. But could Lara help those still trapped in darkness? Or would their pain pull her back? Chapter 6. The Temptation. Sarah. Lara, remember who you are now. Lara stands outside the party, tempted. Loud music, laughing, her hands tremble. Old habits die hard. The past whispers like a familiar song. Lara's eyes closing, she prays. She turns around and walks away. Chapter 7. Marcos's Fall. Marcos, I messed up. I'm not strong like you. Lara, I'm not strong. I just hold on to the one who is. Lara's heart broke. But she did not give up on Marcos. Lara visiting Marcos, praying for him and talking about God's forgiveness. Chapter 8. The Power of Forgiveness. Sarah, forgive yourself, Lara. Even God has forgiven you. Her greatest battle was not against the world, but against her own guilt. Chapter 9. A Family Reunited. Lara's mother. Lara, I never stopped loving you. Both hug, crying. God's grace was not just for Lara, but for all those she loved. Chapter 10. A Light That Shines. Lara, I was lost, but now I am found. I was broken, but God made me whole. Applause. Lara smiles, Sarah by her side. From darkness to light, from despair to hope. Lara's journey was far from over, but now she knew